Next tour we'll be highlighting is going to be celebrating America's 250th anniversary. So this is going to be April 26th through May 4th of 26. Excellent time to be visiting here. And this is one of our exclusive journeys that's only happening in 2026, of course, designed to celebrate America's 250th anniversary as we travel from Boston through New York to Philadelphia, and then to our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. So, as I said, this tour is crafted to commemorate the last 250 years of the American history. So, of course, Boston is a very fitting first stop, the home of the Boston Tea Party. Of course, centuries before it became a popular cosmopolitan city that it is today, it was a battleground, as most of you know, both literally and figuratively, which was where there was the fight for independence. So we will get to see venturing out to the Lexington and Concord towns, where you will get to see where the Revolutionary War commenced, and also getting to explore the Lexington Battle Green, where you will have a local guide with you. After visiting Lexington, continuing on to Concord, you will get to visit the Wright Tavern, where the Minutemen and militia gathered before the battle. Um, and then we will get to make a stop at the old burial ground in Concord, which was the earliest burial site before we continue on to Old North Bridge, which is the exact spot where the shot heard around the world was first fired. And then after delving into some of the history, we're going to make our way back to Boston, where we're going to have the welcome dinner with your fellow travelers. And here we are going to be dining in Boston's North End, which is known for its spectacular Italian food and one of the best places to eat here. So we will get to know your fellow travelers before the next day. We are off to New York City, but on the way there, we are going to stop at the esteemed West Point Academy, which is the most prestigious military service college in the United States. Of course, you may know West Point for its current day reputation, but it is a incredibly important site in the days of the Revolutionary War. So during your guided tour here, you're going to get to explore both its current past roles and learning about West Point during the war and how the United States Military Academy currently trains the leaders of tomorrow. Next, we are on to the city of bright lights and bustling streets, the vibrant atmosphere of New York City, where you'll get to see the skyscrapers, over the top energy experiences, and you'll have some free time to do some exploring. But of course, we will start off getting to see the city. We'll start off with breakfast at a local diner, and then we're going to delve into the history of New York, blended with a panoramic tour, as well as a walking tour with a local New York City guide, where we'll get to glimpse into Central Park. Of course, pause by the 9/11 Memorial, seeing St. Paul's Chapel, where George Washington prayed following his inauguration. Another unique opportunity we have for you here is we do have an optional excursion. You can either choose to do free time, or we do have an optional Broadway show and dinner for you, where you will get to opt into this pre-sold experience and have the chance to see the prize-winning musical Hamilton, and then followed by dinner. And next day, we are going to depart the bustling streets of New York City for a city known as the birthplace of America. Philadelphia. It was here where two of our country's founding documents, the Declaration of Independence and Constitution, were signed into existence. So here you will get to embark on a tour where you'll get to enter the very building where names were inked on these two documents, known as Independence Hall, and also getting to see one of the country's most famous symbols of freedom, the Liberty Bell. And then your exploration of history continues in the afternoon as going to visit the Museum of American Revolution, where you will get to see pieces you've retraced on your journey so far really come together here. Walking through here, you'll get to see collections and immersive galleries that really uncover even more stories of the people and events that contributed to the nation's creation. And then also so we got to eat at a historic tavern in New York, but here in Philly, you will have another unique dining experience where you will get to board this legendary ship. And this is where you will get to explore the vessel and have dinner for the evening, which is going to be docked right at Penn's Landing. And then, as we make our way the next day to Washington, D.C. for your final stay, we will make a stop at Valley Forge National Park, the site of Continental Army encampment during the Revolutionary War. So we'll visit here with a local park guide, explore the land, where you'll know that hosted 12,000 soldiers fighting for freedom for hundreds of civilians. After Valley Forge, we will stop for lunch and then make our way to Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, which, of course, another time capsule of America's history, where you will get to see the past, present, and future of the nation converge. So we'll start your first day in Washington, D.C. with a peek into the nation's political heart at the U.S. Capitol. Of course, the seat of the United States Congress. Tour the Visitor Center, giving you a fascinating look into the American history and government in one of the very buildings where the history was written. And then you'll have some time for lunch before you visit Arlington National Cemetery, where, of course, over 400,000 service members and notable figures are honored and remembered. Here, a narrated tour will take you to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier and the Kennedy grave sites as well. So the day before you began getting to get acquainted with the nation's capital, but today Washington, D.C. holds so many chapters of America's history. So we are going to do a tour around the city to bring you to see more of those, such as the National Mall, the White House, and other famous monuments and museums. We'll also pause to reflect at the World War II Memorial, the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, the Korean War Memorial, which honored the brave American service members who answered their country's call and made that ultimate sacrifice. So that is the Journey for America's 250th anniversary. Of course, this is one of those special event tours that we have from April 26th through May 4th of 26, looking at a price of $43.99 per person at the double occupancy or $58.99 single occupancy.